welcome to the April Virtual Stamp Club. Happy April! I hope that you guys are all finding something constructive to do during this time of being at home. And I hope you're finding time to get crafty. So here is what we're going to be making this month. These two really cute little fishy cards. So I'm going to show you this technique to make the background look like bubbles. And this card was so adorable. I know a lot of you guys loved it when I showed you the idea last month from a consultant named Trina. So we thank Trina for this really adorable idea of the fish in the bag, like he got it at a carnival. So stinking cute. And all these stamps are from the April stamp of the month. Officially awesome. All right, so what I'd like to start out with is showing you the coloring techniques. So you all are going to get a little piece with the images already stamped. And I did the sign already, but I want to show you how I did this to kind of make it look like there's like a wood grain pattern in there. I'm going to be using our Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. I absolutely love these. They have the light, medium, and dark tones all in one marker. So it's like getting 3 markers for the price of 1. And they're alcohol ink markers, so they make shading and blending effortless. Beautiful. So I'm starting with the light end of the marker and just color in the whole sign and the signpost. And then I'm going to flip it around and come to the dark tip. And then I'm going to just kind of swipe left and right, some short, some long. And that's how we're going to make it look like wood grain in there. That's all. And then you can take that dark tip and outline, give it a little bit of depth and texture right on the edges. And then the signpost. And I'm not going to go over that again to blend it. I just want to leave those lines as they are. If you can see that, we have a little wood grain pattern in our sign. So next with the fish, I'm going to use the orange blend for our cute little Nemo looking fish. And I had to look online exactly how a clownfish was colored because I wanted to be right. I wanted to make certain that I was going to be coloring it the right way. You know, we've all watched the movie Finding Nemo, but when you have to sit and color it, it's like, wait, which part is orange? Which part is white? So, doing it this way, this was the best option that I came up with here. So again, the orange marker, I'm using the light tip first. And you're going to get 2 of these, 1 for each card. And then spin it around, come to the dark side. Come to the dark side. And I'm going to outline those orange areas with the dark tip. These markers are very similar to the Shinhan alcohol ink markers that we had, as well as Copic markers if you're a fan of those. They're just so smooth, effortless, beautiful shading. So once you have it outlined, spin that marker around back to the light side and we're going to go over that whole area to blend. And when you do this while it's still kind of wet on the paper, that's where you get a real smooth blend. If you wait until it thoroughly dries into the paper, you're going to get more of a harsher line. So I'll bring this up closer if you can see the difference between just using the light marker versus outlining it with the dark tip and then going back to blend. It makes a big difference. It looks so pretty. So I'll come back to that other one later, but let me go to the other fish here real quick. The next color is the green turquoise blend, and this guy with the long nose, I'm going to color him in with the light tip of the green turquoise. Spin it around to the dark tip, and I'm just going over the top. Go back to the light and then blend. Pull that color together. I love this color. I think that's my favorite. And then next, the light yellow blend. I'm using the dark tip of this, almost like a yellowish greenish, and then I'm doing his fins there. And still with this light yellow blend, I'm going to color the bottom half of this little fish, and then switch gears to the ice blue blend, the light, and do the top half. And I think that's the neat thing about coloring these fish is when you look at all of the saltwater fish in the ocean, they're all such brilliant colors and unique colors that I think you could really do any kind of color blend that you want to. That was the dark tip I just kind of outlined, and then spin it back around to the light and then kind of blend and pull it down just a little bit into that light yellowish greenish color there to blend. And let me come back to the orange, the light side for this little starfish guy. I love this little starfish. He reminds me of the one in Finding Nemo that was stuck to the side of the glass in the dentist office. Wasn't he cute? Next up, the fair skin blend. I'm going to do the shells. Start with the light. Whoop. Here we go. Go over that whole shell. And then next, pale pink blend. I'm using the dark tip and coming to the inside and then outline with the dark tip of the pink. And then back to the fair skin, the light side, you can blend it together with that. And lastly, I'm coming back to this green turquoise blend, the light end, and on the scallop shell, I'm just going to flick up. And I'm not even going to come back over to blend with that. I think it looks really pretty as is. So we can see those subtle coloring techniques there. And there's your coloring. So you can choose to color these with any medium you have at home. Whether you have Copic markers, Shinhan markers, these tri-blends, watercolor pencils, fine. Any kind of other coloring medium, you can do as you wish with that. And then our card base is simply a half sheet of 8.5 by 11. So it's 8.5 by 5.5, and you're going to score that at 4 1/4 and fold it in half. Then you're going to attach the craft piece to the card front base. And your pattern pieces, you have the fishnet that's going to get glued down, and then come to this neat wood grain looking piece with the blue, and that's going to go on the bottom half. Line that up so you have a little bit of the border showing on all 4 sides. And then next, you have this little strip of smoothie cardstock, and we're going to sandpaper that just to kind of keep it in that distressed look like the wood grain. When you have a skinny piece like this, you want to go in one direction. If you rub back and forth, you're going to have a tendency to buckle up the paper. So just go in one direction there. And then we'll glue this right into the seam. Hide the edges there. Okay, and then I'm going to glue down my sign. And I'll show you next how to do the little pennants. You're going to have 3 little squares. They're just 1-inch squares from the pattern paper. The paper we're working with is called Seize the Day. And here's the background and texture paper. And I just put it in my trimmer and cut along the lines there. So I have the gray and the peach and the blue. So how to create the pennants, you're going to fold it in half on one end and give it a little pinch. And that's just to find your center, essentially. You don't want to fold the entire piece in half. Just fold those points so they meet and then give it a little pinch. Find your center. You can also just put a little pencil dot there too, at a 1/2 inch if you want. And then similar to dovetailing, you're going to work from the corner or the center point to the corner and then corner to the center point. And there's your pennant. Easy peasy. Find your center, go up to the corner and corner to the center. And you have that nice triangular shape. Corner to center. All right, and then you want to glue these down or lay them down without glue first just to get your placement. So I have the points touching to the side and the top and then to each other there. So that looks pretty good there, and I'm just going to add a little spot of adhesive, whatever is your pleasure. And we'll stick these down. And we're not done yet. We're going to come in with a black journaling pen to add a little bit of detail on this banner. You can use any tip, any black journaling pen tip. It doesn't really matter what size. If you don't have a black journaling pen, you can simply use a regular pen. But from once upon a time, we had these legacy writers, and they have different size tips. So I just pulled out one that's 0.5. And we have nice new writing pens in the catalog now too. So I'm just going to make my own little stitched lines right across the top of each little pennant. Little stitch lines. And then little loops on the ends to make it look like it's kind of tied, and a little string that hangs. So little loop-de-loops and a little string. You can even make little loops in between so that it looks like it's tied and connected. So there's your little string. And then finish up with this little fishy in a bag. So you're going to get one of these little Ziploc baggies and just snip off the Ziploc part and drop your fish in the bag, and you'll get a little piece of some vintage waxy flex. This is something else I've had in my stash for a long time. So you just crunch it together and just tie it in a knot. That's all. And the nice thing about working with this waxy flax is it's a coated waxed linen, so it has kind of a sticky type of feel to it, so it's easy to shape, easy to work with. So there's your cute little fish in the bag, and then I have a little 3D foam tape piece. You're going to stick it on the back side of the fish and then just place them on the card there, and there you have it. Isn't it cute? All right, so next card here, this is going to be a square card, and it is a 9.5 by 4 3/4 piece, and you're going to score it at 4 3/4, so it's going to be a square. And you can choose to make this either a top fold card or a side fold card, doesn't matter. And you'll have a piece of mint cardstock that you're going to glue onto the front, and then I used the mint shimmer brush and just paint it around the edges. So you're just going to take that shimmer brush. If you have clear shimmer, that would look really nice too. So shimmer brush all around the edges. Set that to the side. So the sponging technique we're going to do for this background is very easy. I used two of my favorite colors, Lagoon and Peacock. And sponges, this is really an easy technique. If you just take one of our round sponges and quarter it, and then take a piece of cardstock and staple it onto it, you have a nice little handle there. And I'm going to work a little quickly with this by tapping the sponge on the ink pad and just swirling the color up and into the paper. And the more you deposit the color, the darker it's going to get, the more intense it's going to get. So just keep pouncing on the ink pad and come back for more color to lay down. On my first card, I used those life-changing blender brushes, and they worked really nice too to blend the color on the paper. All right, next the peacock. I'm going to start on one edge and bring it up, swirl it in. So I want it darker on the bottom. The other thing you can do with the sponges, as opposed to brushes, is pounce. So you can pounce it on the ink pad and then pounce it on your paper, and you're going to get this really neat speckling design on the paper. Little kind of speckle splatter, if you can see that. And then I'm going to smear to kind of blend that. And just keep going to make it as intense as you want. A little back and forth. If you want to come back to the lagoon, a little up and down, let's intensify that a little bit more. I hope I'm not shaking the camera. All right, I am satisfied with that. So I could put some scrap paper underneath me here. And how we're going to get these little bubbles, our inks are all dye-based. So with water, it's going to kind of react. So that's all there is to it. You're just going to take a little ordinary paintbrush and some water. And then I'm just going to flick it over my finger and let those water droplets come onto the paper. And look at that. You can see that reacting right away. A little bit more because I want some more obvious bubbles. And you'll get a different look every time you do this. So you'll wait till that dries and then mount it onto another piece of white cardstock. So I have this one already done, and you can see I took the paintbrush out of the water cup and a big drop landed right on the page there. So that you might want to leave it there, or maybe that's where you're going to glue a fish. So there it's reacting even more as it's kind of settling into the paper. It's so pretty. And the brackets I used are stitched bracket thin cut dies, and simply just cut these in half. And that's going to be our little message at the top. Let me move this. And just like Dory says, just keep swimming. And I went back to my mint shimmer brush and I went over that mint cardstock just to give it a little bit of shine and pizzazz, and then let that dry. So you just layer those two together at the top, and then I put this whole base on 3D foam tape. And then you'll attach it to your card. So you'll have that nice shine of the shimmer brush on the mint here, and then on the mint on the edges, and then our water splatter for the background. And then you can add your little fishies however you see fit to make your little ocean scene there. So thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you had fun and maybe learned something new today. And I hope you are getting crafty with some of your at-home self-isolation time. So thanks for watching. Bye.